What's up everyone, Jonas here for Thomann synthesizers. In today's video I have the distinct pleasure to check out the first Eurorack full format synthesizer by Intellijel called Cascadia. Cascadia is equipped with two analog oscillators coming in the classical East and West Coast style synthesis. And yeah, I have to say that Intellijel is one of my most favorite brands when it comes to Eurorack modules, and now I'm really curious to check out their first synthesizer. Without further ado, let's jump right in and let's check out Cascadia. Cascadia is coming with a beautiful design in my opinion and a really compact layout, and perhaps you can get a little overwhelmed with a lot of inputs and faders, but they are here for a reason and they make Cascadia a utility monster, let's say. I'm not going too much into the details of technical informations, etc. But let's have a quick overview. So on the back you will find some MIDI outs and inputs as well as line outs, and on the top you will find the possibility of external in with CV on pitch, gate and trigger, as well as the opportunity of using a send and return and including it into your patch. Pretty useful and special, I think, is the MIDI to CV in my opinion, because you have different possibilities to translate your MIDI signal into MIDI pitch, velocity, modulation, CC, LFO, gate, clock and trigger. And next to it you will find the mixer section, which is coming in this old school classic kind of Intellijel style, almost reminding me of the Atlantis, with the possibility of having the sub and sub -2 as well as the white noise, which you can choose as the pink noise, and the alternative noise, which has different categories as well, but more on this a little later. So beside this we will find, of course, the VCF, and which is pretty useful here in my opinion, that you have different possibilities of modulating it with 3 inputs, as well as the modulation input for the resonance. And as said, Cascadia is a bit of a utility monster, so we have plenty features as the wave folder, ring modulation, a slew limiter, sample and hold, as well as 2 VCOs with FM synthesis possibilities and 2 envelopes. And the second envelope is actually a little bit special, because you can switch it into LFO and burst, and then you can choose to have it free running, synced, or the LFV mode, which is kind of special in my opinion, and we're definitely going to use it later on in this patch now. As Cascadia got 2 VCOs, you have the chance to turn it into a duophonic synthesizer, but for the patch I want to create now, I'm going to use it as an LFO. By just switching the button here, you can decide between VCO and LFO. So right now I'm sending MIDI notes to the MIDI input via Ableton, and now I want to use the first ADSR to modulate the cutoff of the filter. But we want to use the second envelope as well as the FM input. And we are going to use the MIDI trigger to sync it. And by the way, the white labeled squares are outputs, the bigger ones, and the smaller ones above are the connections which are normal, you don't have to patch. So in here would be the envelope A and here the VCOB, for example. Yeah, but let's continue. And I want to use the envelope B as an LFO. This would be the synced LFO. And the LFV, which I really like. It's kind of a random LFO, I would say. Organic kind of LFO, I would say. But let's stick with the synced one for now. Take the sine wave and let's put it into the multiplier here. And then we would grab the first one and put it into the shape. In here there is a second LFO called FLFO XYZ, which you can use to modulate the pulse with as well. But for now I want to use it to modulate the resonance in the VCF. Let's increase our effect here. And let's use some drums. So besides a melodic approach, of course, as I love percussions a lot, I think it's really necessary to try a run of percussions coming from Cascadia. So let's dig into the percussion sound section. And of course, I cannot cover like creating toms, kicks, hi-hats, snares, whatever, because it would just be too much, I think. But yeah, let's just dive into and let's check out what the Cascadia is capable of. And I think it's fair to say that, yeah, some synthesizers always come with, yeah, like a similar kind of feature. But here I think it's pretty cool that you have the variety of switching noises, which is kind of cool and really useful when it comes to creating different kind of yeah, percussion or weird tonal sounds. And by pressing the gate, you can switch those four into different alternative versions of noise. So let's go into this one. And we have in each section, we have three different. Let's go to the second one. So each of them are a tiny bit different to the version before, and overall those four sections are different to the other section, like more harmonic, overtones more metallic. And speaking of metallic character, Cascadia is possible of doing FM synthesis, which yeah, I personally don't use a lot, just sometimes really detailed and emphasized to bring it into a nicer context, because it's, yeah, kind of metallic harsh and sometimes kind of cold. So yeah, let's use different waveforms let's use the square wave. And the second oscillator as a VCO, and then we use the FM from B. And let's of course use a different ADSR because otherwise it would be too stressful. Thanks. So. I think that's fairly nice. Let's increase the noise. So I think it's really saturated, nice and clear. So you have the possibility of create really interesting and different percussions. So let's change the noise a little bit. Alright, so I think we wrapped up today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I have to say that I was really excited about the release of Cascadia because I like the size of it. It's really compact and you have all the necessary utilities you would need in a Eurorack synthesizer, and that's actually the big advantage because you can connect it to the rest of your modules and make a bigger synthesizer of it. Thanks for watching, and if you have any ideas and comments or thoughts you want to share with us about Cascadia or a different synthesizer topic, then feel free to comment down below and we will manage to get back to you as soon as possible. So thanks again and see you next time.